agency.
What's the deal with government agencies?
What's the deal with Second Life?
I have no idea. I'm genuinely asking. Is this a video game?
If it's your first time here ever, welcome for the first time. Reyna is here with me and we are going to listen to this podcast that we participated in and just share a couple of reactions. If you want to view or listen to the full podcast, grab the link below. We're gonna go do it.
I can't wait.
Alright, let's see.
I have no idea. I'm genuinely asking. Is this a video game?
It's a great question. I mean, it depends who you ask. It's not. I would say, as someone who loves and studies video games, that it is.
As someone who
but
plays
it's
Second
not
Life.
a traditional video game. It's more of a virtual.
I feel like you're here somewhere.
It started in 2003.
Second Life is home to a community of sex workers. So within Second Life, there is this place called the Monarchy. In particular, there are different clubs, but we're going to be focusing on the Monarchy today. It's a members-only strip club and brothel that charges really the highest prices of all of the venues like this in Second Lives.
I'm gonna keep pausing throughout this so we can talk. But low-key,
Yeah.
I also want to talk about. Actually, she's gonna say it in a second, but she says like we get that, or she got that from Quinn's video. What was your reaction when you saw his video titled "The Most Expensive Club in Second Life"?
I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, I guess so. But
it was funny because I thought we were gonna get a lot of shit for it, and he spoke to a couple of other clubs before actually even meeting me. So I found that interesting.
okay, now did you hear her say that Second Life was home to sex workers? It's like that's not all Second Life is.
Oh, I know.
But I mean, I guess you can become a sex worker in Second Life. I'm not sure it's like the exact home.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I think people are gonna, scream from the rooftops. Anytime you say anything sex related plus Second Life, everyone's like, that's not all Second Life is. We do more than okay, we get it, but people also have sex. Like, get over it. I think people are so just scarred from Second Life only being associated with sex that there's just huge resistance and rejection for anything sexual.
Some 6+ years ago when I came on board, there was a lot of negativity around, Second Life. It's old and it's got, this adult stuff in it.
But they have to remember that when they came to Second Life, most likely a lot, not everyone, but a lot of people left other games that were similar and moved over here because you could actually have sex in world.
All right, let's continue.
Okay.
We found this just to mention through an interesting video called Inside Second Life's Most Expensive Brothel. If you Google that or you go to YouTube and look for that, you will find it by somebody named Quentin Smith. And it gives you a really thorough rundown of this as well. So check that out.
I believe Matt found this one, which is interesting.
I did, yeah.
You
it was
dirty piece of shit.
I'm also thoroughly convinced Matt is in Second Life.
I am too. The way he answered some questions or helped guide.
Right. I'm
I was like, oh, you get this.
Your introspection is just too spot on. You're here. You've been here he's the 15-year-old avatar that we saw earlier.
I want to know everything. Also, the avatars are really fascinating. And in the video that you sent us, Matt, I know Meela, who we're talking to today, mentioned that these are curvier, I think those were her words, than usual avatars. So I'm
my hyper booty.
I'm not kidding. I would love to go create an avatar and be a sex worker there for an hour.
I feel like I want her to do this. I want to take her through the process of creating an avatar and be like, just stay in the pub for a second. Let's just see what it's all about.
Great. She would love it.
That'll be my follow-up email. Can you really do this, please?
Right.
It's an interesting question because I know, Allie, you've said about being a voyeur that you're like the ultimate voyeur, and I know you've done some IRL things, watching or whatever. So like, where does this fall in the realm of like when you participate, but it's your avatar? Are you doing it or are you a voyeur?
It's a great question, and I know.
Wait, that is a good question.
That is a very good question.
I wasn't like thinking about it when she said it the first time, but I think that comes into mind when we're talking about like, am I my avatar? Because like I refer to Meela as Meela. So when I do enjoy things in Second Life, am I enjoying them or am I just like watching someone enjoy them? And is that what's exciting?
Mind blown.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't think it's me. So maybe that's why, because I always say like there's stuff I do in Second Life I wouldn't even be moderately interested in real life. But I think it's maybe I am a voyeur.
I keep a good separation too, but that's a tricky question.
That is tricky.
This is Second Life. You can be anything, do anything. You can fly. You can make music. You can build a mansion. Like whatever you want to do, you can play inside this virtual space and do it. What do you do? What's your character? What's your dream? What is this alternate life that you personally would lead?
Can I be a rock star?
Jen, you can be anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Like I am very confident that you can create and buy musical instruments and play music and form bands inside and play for money, like as a band. Like I'm confident that's in Second Life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, he knows these things.
He does know, because most people because you could be a rock star, you could actually perform if you wanted to. But there are groups that, like, I went to that Linkin Park tribute show that time, and they were all pretending to be Linkin Park, and like people were super excited. He knows.
Right.
He knows the tea. He's been here for 15 years.
Gets it. And it's really hard to get the full picture if you have not been in Second Life.
Right. We see you, Matt.
I think I would do that. But then I would question, like, if I would do that in Second Life, why wouldn't I just form a band in real life?
Yeah, the thing is, like, most of the weird shit I want to do, I'm doing.
I think we talked about that earlier too. Like, the question is, why would you, if you wanted to do something, why would you do it in Second Life and not real life?
Right. And I think a lot of people don't have the opportunity or the money to get started doing something that they might be doing in Second Life versus what they can afford and, fit into their time frame in real life. Or they might not have the ability physically to do it either.
Yeah, and I think that's what's cool. And I think I see those stories a lot. Like, maybe this person can't go create a whole clothing collection in real life and put it on models and get it mass produced, but they can do something like that in Second Life. Or people who physically can't move, but they're like dancers in Second Life.
Right.
But again, of course, because I'm a total narcissist, I bring this back to myself. And like, why do I do these things in Second Life? And this also goes back, so I went back to Quinn's video before I listened to this, just, to see comments, because I try to torture myself that way, but they're all good. Like, their crowd is so cool. But one person was like, you're putting all this time into Second Life, why, or put it in real life. And when I look at like the allocation of my time and energy, what I do in Second Life is still barely 10% of what I do in real life. But like my 10% is like someone's theoretical like 100%. So, when people look at this, they're like, that's a lot of time you're putting in, or a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, but it's still playtime, and it's not like, it's I don't know. Like, there are moments where I'm like, this is a lot of crap that we're doing, but it's not like it's taking away from my real life.
Right. And at a certain point, say if you're a clothing creator, we'll just use that as an example. Somebody who is eventually going to make a lot of money in Second Life, that kind of becomes their real life.
Yeah.
And then they spend a lot of time creating. They might not necessarily be in world creating because they have to do that outside of Second Life.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's a career.
Their income.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there are 3D meshers who do this for a living outside of Second Life that are making, like, I saw this comparison someone put on Twitter the other day about like how much animators make in different states, and like, of course, California was the lowest because there's a million of them here, but like, I think it was like Louisiana where it was super high. So think about that now. So think about you being a 3D creator and you're in one of these cities like California, or you're in Los Angeles where there's a 3D creator every 4 people, but all of a sudden you're able to log into a virtual space where your competition isn't that high, and now you're making more money than the person next door who's working at Warner Brothers. So I don't even see it as like, why wouldn't you do this in real life? I think people are at a point where we're leveraging what we can do virtually and on the internet even, as, you know, real income, or just like hobbies. Because like, again, like I came to Second Life as a hobby, and I was that person who in my spare time I was either watching TV, I was reading a book, I was writing a book, and then I was like, I want to write books with people. But you know, that didn't mean I wasn't also going out to bars and clubs and restaurants and work,
participating.
But like, I couldn't imagine, or nor would I want to have like sit in a room with someone else and write a story. Like, that is my worst nightmare. Even people who know me closely will absolutely never read anything that I've written. I don't like sharing it with people I know. So I'm like, that would be terrible to do in real life. But in Second Life, that's what I enjoy doing.
There's such a mix of people in Second Life anyway.
Yeah. It's such a mix of things to do.
Yeah.
No. So I'm just thinking, should it be something like a little, not that I'm going to be a rock star in real life, but should it be something like even crazier, like that requires like wealth, you know? I don't know, like watching this video, it seems that they show like some of the houses people live in, and they're like multiple bear rugs, bearskin rugs and things like that.
Right.
I want that. Like, you can live outside of your means, it seems like. So
you're fancy.
Like that, where I would like have a yacht or
what's interesting to me is like that takes work in the game. So in order to acquire the funds and resources, you have to play a lot of Second Life. I've been thinking a lot about this lately.
Kind of. Maybe he doesn't play Second Life, because I'm like, you could also just buy it. So you could you could choose to put $20 in the game, and all of a sudden you could play Millionaire for a day. You know, after a while it does get expensive, but you don't necessarily have to play.
I think forming a band in a virtual world and playing and really being committed to it with other people or whatever who are all over the world is safer in a lot of ways than doing it in real life, because doing it in real life is fucking scary as hell, and you probably can't make a living at it.
And you'll probably make money.
Right. Even if you're horrible.
Right. Because people are like, oh, that's bold. Like, we were watching the SL16B, and someone in the chat was like, they don't sound good. And I was like, I'm going to tip them anyway, because they're up there.
Right. They were bold enough to take their ass up there.
Yeah, and you think about the audience. Like, you think about an indie musician who may sound wonderful, but has never performed live. They're going to do their first show ever. They're probably going to go to a coffee shop and perform for 20 people. That's going to be the most, like, you know, stressful moment that they're overcoming, super proud of themselves for those 20 people. Whereas in Second Life, same situation, but all of a sudden it's 200 people who are also donating to you at once. So I'm like, just a bigger, everything online is just such a bigger stage.
And that poor person that went to the coffee shop might have walked away with zero money.
I know. And someone may have like shit talked them and like ruined their dream.
I know. Oh, I'm sad for them.
You're like, fuck you, I'll make another avatar, I'll come back and kill it.
Right. Oh my goodness.
There we go. Now
She's a rock star.
Yeah.
Yes, I wrote that song.
She would have made thousands and thousands in London.
So, you know, this whole thing actually reminds me of Findom, which I want to say on the podcast, because if anyone knows anyone out there practicing Findom, that is an interview we've wanted to do for a long time.
Well, this might happen today, because apparently there is some degree of Findom happening with the monarchies. So we will find out about it. But Meela has spoken about this before, so we got to see.
My last point by extension is like, obviously, this is safer and more comfortable for certain kinds of people who would never go to a brothel in real life or are prohibited to do so because of laws in their country. And so while it's safer to be a rock band in Second Life, it's safer to go to a brothel in Second Life. And that makes a lot of sense to me as someone who enjoys video. You know, I can't shoot up a squadron of TIE fighters in real life, so I'm going to do that in a video game because it's fucking awesome.
That's totally not where I thought he was about to go. I was like, someone who enjoys. And then left us on that. I'm like, brothels?
Right. That was a total cliffhanger. I was waiting.
Right.
You know, living the fantasy, right?
there's a fuck ton of violence in video games, so I think it's pretty cool that we're also having a lot of sex now.
Today's trivia: in 2008, what U.S. government agency created its own island in Second Life, and for what nefarious purpose?
2008.
Nefarious, maybe normal purpose.
What
I
was
have
going
three
on in
choices.
2008?
A, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Choice B, NASA built a planetarium complete with high-resolution images from the Hubble Space Telescope in order to combat many calls to defund the space program. That is choice B. Choice C, the IRS built a career center which included a NASCAR-style racetrack in order to save money on job recruitment costs.
I believe it.
2008. This was okay. So we established that Second Life was created in 2003. A good many years into the life cycle of Second Life. 2008. What U.S. government agency created its own island?
We win.
Right.
No way.
That's so stupid.
No word on if it was successful.
There were so many different brands that had
No clue.
their branding in Second Life
I
back then.
assume it did not pay off for
Which
them,
also
because
doesn't
I
make
did not
sense.
find any follow-up.
Yeah,
like,
people could
hey,
buy washers and dryers from, like, what was Montgomery Ward's, from what I heard.
God damn it.
That's stupid. I remember Provins and Schuler did a fashion show. I should actually look that up because this was before I knew about Second Life or cared about it. Like one of my friends was into it, and I was like, no, pass. But I remember Provins and Schuler because they were my favorite brand, and they did something in Second Life. Can you look it up? Because it was so weird. Oh yeah, the video's still around. I'm gonna have to put this in the video.
Right.
What page is this? This is on their page.
2012.
This is crazy. I haven't. So I didn't. When did I join Second Life? Because I remember this came out before I joined. Oh my
Look
god.
at this dolphin diving into what looks like dirt.
Look at these avatars.
Oh my god.
But I would kill to have some Prince of Schuler in World.
Oh my goodness.
Could that actually help with a brand strategy these days, though?
It might,
I feel
actually.
like fast fashion, it could. Brands like this, Prince of Schuler is pretty expensive. But
Yeah.
picture if Fashion Nova may release
Yeah.
this in World, people would buy that in real life.
Oh yeah. Real
Like,
quick.
Does Fashion Nova need to get any bigger? I don't think so.
No. You can have a Fashion Nova Second Life blogger.
Right. This is so weird.
Very. And these old. Oh, look at the car! I'm dying.
Indulge.
Back then, that's
automotive,
hilarious.
right?
What is that? A Toyota Camry
Oh my gosh. It's weird that
or a Lexus? I don't know.
They put money into this too.
Yeah, they did.
I don't recall Mesh being a thing in 2012.
It wasn't.
Look at them. I'm dead at this! I'm mad they still have this on their YouTube page.
I know.
That was hilarious. Okay, back to what we were doing. I'm very easily distracted. We'll see. We'll see now. Such a burden to crash.
I know. You have to reset so many things.
Special Agent Will
Fuck?
Special Agent, he means not really an agent. He didn't get past the screening
Why did my
process.
TV just come on?
Too unstable.
I heard that. I don't know. Oh my god, that's creepy.
If you want to talk,
Do you have it set to start? Like, I wonder if you hit a button where it automatically turns on at a certain time.
No. I don't even know if I have that option. I know I have a sleeper.
I don't know if there's a wake option or
But
not.
even if it came on, so if I turn my TV on right now, it's on HDMI and asks me if I want to continue to a menu, and then I would have to continue to a menu to get to my apps. But it was just on Netflix, so and it was playing a show. So not only would I have to like continue to my apps, I have to select Netflix, have to select, and then have to select the show.
That's crazy.
I was
You have a
watching
ghost.
Netflix earlier. I was watching Hulu. I do have a ghost. What is social media? What is hashtag? All right. And continue.
We are so excited to have our guests with us today. That's right, there are two of them. Please welcome to the show Meela Vanderbuilt, the creator and owner of the Monarchy, which is the club that we're looking at today in Second Life, and Reyna, general staff manager.
Just Reyna.
Hello.
And me, just Reyna.
We're excited to be here. Oh, cringe.
Great. So we wanted to start just a little broad because I know some of our listeners might not be very familiar with Second Life. So,
and also we aren't very familiar with Second Life.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah. So for those of us who are not initiated,
except Matt, right? He knows everything about Second Life.
Basic primer of Second Life, like what it is, generally how it works, and how we're very interested to know how do people make real money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So oh, cringe! I can't go on. I cannot listen to this. Why do I sound like a Bostonian surfer? Like that doesn't even exist, but I feel like that's what my voice is.
Bostonian surfer.
Ooh.
You sound very LA.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's weird though, because this dude I used to work with was also from Boston, living here, and he had the same vibe. And I used to always be like, "Why are you a Bostonian surfer?" And I feel like it's what I sound like. When did that
And you
happen?
just made your own vibe.
Sick. Right. Second Life is a pretty old, I guess, platform. I think a lot of people, some people look at it as a game because you can come here and you can play it almost like a life simulation situation. But for a lot of people, it is kind of a social platform where you can meet people, where you can go to performances, where you can create content. Like, you know what's funny though? Everything they talked about in the intro that we weren't listening to is exactly what I repeat. Like, they were even talking about performances.
Right.
Alright. 3D mesh and all of that good stuff. I know from a technology perspective, there are a lot of people that like to create things. It's almost like a technology playground.
Technology playground. I'm using that from now on.
Yeah. I think that's what attracted me about it. That you could just learn a lot, and I've learned so much because I work in technology in real life now, and I don't know if I would have had that interest had I not been in Second Life first. But just for your general user, I mean, you know, I think avatars or... Okay, you guys, thanks so much for watching right now. I know this thing was up and down all over the place, but anyways, it was super fun to do this interview with Two Girls One Podcast. Check out the podcast. There's so much more to it. It's absolutely hilarious, really insightful. They asked questions I hadn't thought of before, so go check it out. The link's in the description below. Again, it's Two Girls One Podcast. Y'all know what I keep almost saying. They also have a Discord server, which I just joined, so go join their Discord as well. And watch the whole show. Comment below, tell me what you think. And also, tell me what you think of me and Reyna sitting out here on this porch just chatting about things, because I low-key, it's a vibe. I got a vibe. But anyway, I will catch you guys next time. Be sure to like and subscribe, por favor. Bye.
Just the other day, saw you looking my way.